What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Today was a day I kind of recharged and refocused myself and getting myself back on an even keel. We lost Simba a few days ago. And yesterday on the road, I was supposed to be on the road today actually rebuilding a shower, but I put it off till tomorrow, so I'll actually spend the weekend away working on that. But don't worry, Michael's going to be here working in the shop, getting those orders and stuff out. We are getting close. This is probably the deadest time that we are going to have, until the summer. Before that 6 weeks between the last OTAs and actually training camp, this week will be probably the deadest. This is the speculation week. I've seen articles and stuff talking about the three potential Dallas Cowboys franchise tags: Randy Gregory, Michael Gallup, or Dalton Schultz. Let's be clear. If we were to use one, and I don't think we will even on Dalton Schultz, we're not going to be spending $21 million on Randy Gregory on a franchise tag, or $20 million on Michael Gallup, who's injured right now. I mean, come on. People are just grabbing for shit right there. We're not trading Zeke Elliott. Even if they wanted to, nobody's going to trade for an $18 million cap hit for Zeke Elliott at this point. You just don't. Nobody's going to give you anything and take that contract. Or they might give you a 6th round, but they're going to want you to eat most of that contract. They're not going to take it. So that's not going to happen either. And getting rid of him doesn't help, because the real problem is actually the offensive line. It's amazing how people will put into, emotion that it's just Zeke or it's just Dak, when the reality is you have to look at the Dallas Cowboys, the most penalized team in football, and look at the offensive line and think they're nowhere near the Great Wall of Dallas. They're nowhere near the 70s Dallas Cowboys offensive line. They have gotten old and they've got problems. And on the flip side, we got problems, of course, on our defensive line. But at least we're not like, say, Carolina, who's called Minnesota, looking for Kirk Cousins trade. I'm surprised Carolina hasn't called actually Green Bay, because we're hearing about teams that actually have offers for Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers supposedly will decide over the course of the next few days on whether or not he's going to retire or if he will accept a trade someplace. But of course, Aaron Rodgers gets to pick where he wants to go because he has a no trade clause in there. But the interesting thing is, this year may be the big quarterback migration that we've never seen before. Yeah, last year there was the Matthew Stafford versus Jared Goff trade, which was pretty big. Of course, there was the Tom Brady the year before going to Tampa Bay. But we've never had the possibility of so many quarterbacks that could be on the moves. I mean, this literally is the W's and R's with the Jimmy mixed in. Meaning there's Watson, Deshaun Watson. We know he's wanted to get the hell out of town, especially before all the cases that are being heard. I believe he's going to be listening to 9 cases, 9 of his accusers will be able to kind of do their thing. There's Deshaun Watson, so probably Texans are looking for probably 3 number ones, a guy that you might be able to make a trade for. Although he said that he's looking at Minnesota as well as, I can't remember the other team, but it's no longer Miami. He's decided to forget Miami. Last year, Miami was the hot spot for him, literally with all the beaches. This year, screw Miami, because Brian Flores isn't there. Then you've got Jameis Winston, who in some regards, you look at it and say he did have 30 touchdown passes in one season, although there were 30 interceptions that went with it, which doesn't sound so good. But, he played better getting away from Tampa Bay. Very few people play great at Tampa Bay other than Tom Brady. He actually played and was playing really well last year until he got hurt. In fact, you could look at New Orleans and say with Jameis Winston, they were actually a very dangerous team and would have been headed to the playoffs until he got hurt. So he's out there, and a possibility that some teams might look at him as well. There's Jimmy G, who the 49ers have said pump the brakes a little bit because we're not sure our young gun is ready to take over. In other words, we're trying to get more for him. You gotta up the offer if you want to get him. So there's Jimmy G. You got Aaron Rodgers, like we said, who is going to decide over the course of the next few days on what he's going to do. More than likely, if anything, I think that he stays right where he is in Green Bay if he does not retire and go to Jeopardy. And then there's the Russell Wilson situation, who last year we heard rumors that he would be happy to play in Dallas. That would be one of the spots that he would be, okay with. Now he has said that he wants to return to Seattle, the team that drafted him, and win another Super Bowl there. And that may be trying to appease the people that are there. Again, no trade clause. However, there's an old saying that everything is for sale for the right price. And I believe that's true. If somebody wows Seattle with a deal, 3 number ones, maybe a player, I think that they would consider that. And I believe, this is my own personal opinion, my own personal theory, you're looking at an evolution because things always change. The way teams always look at it and said is, if you don't have a quarterback, then you don't have a team. And you've seen team after team after team trying to get the quarterback. Think about Washington, for example. Washington, they went out and they tried to get Donovan McNabb late in his career. He was late in his career and didn't play well with a team that wasn't good. They then turned around and took 3 number ones in a second and moved up in the draft to get RG3. RG3 was pretty good the first year, but he petered out in the second year after the injury. They go through, they try and snag another quarterback between, after getting rid of Kirk Cousins and playing the franchise tag on him with Alex Smith, and then they try to get Haskins and so on. But the thing that you look at now is maybe drafting the quarterback and trying to get that guy, because it's a crapshoot. You can look at the 2016 draft right now. All the guys that were first-round talents have been moved on in teams or aren't in the league. Dak is really the only one from that draft that's really standing and still doing some great things. Carson Wentz, well, he got cut and released or traded to the Colts, and now they're trying to get rid of him after 1 year. Jared Goff, he's been gone to basically Siberia, which you could say is Detroit, and so on. And the Paxton Lynches and those guys, are they even still in the NFL? We've seen teams like the Cardinals go through and draft Josh Rosen thinking that he was going to be the guy and realize a year later that he's not. And number 1 draft picks are game changers. And so now you're looking at maybe the possibility of the Tampa Bay model as well as the Rams model. Build the team with a lot of great players. Then just go out and get you a proven quarterback instead of risking all those draft picks hoping that you got the guy and that you can develop him. Take a guy who fits your needs with a great team. Get the offensive line together with those number 1 picks. Get that defense stout. Get the receivers, the running backs, and then go get a quarterback, because you may not need a quarterback that is that great if you have a great team with them. Because I'm still not sold that Matthew Stafford is this Hall of Fame quarterback. Matthew Stafford had some games where he's throwing pick sixes like Oprah's giving away cars. But at least for the Cowboys, we're not one of those teams that are knee-deep in trying to find a quarterback. Because right now, if you need a quarterback, if you're Washington, if you're Carolina, if you are Tampa Bay, if you are Chicago, if you are Denver, and the list goes on and on and on, there's not a lot of options out there. And this draft does not have a lot of quarterbacks in there. Sure, there'll be a couple of these guys that are going to come out and wow you that nobody thought was any good. But are you betting your whole franchise that that's going to be the case? Don't know. But in the meantime, I need to go back upstairs and check on my work, on my workshop and stuff. But we'll, of course, be talking with you guys. As always, I appreciate you guys listening to me doing my thing. And I will catch you later. Peace.